step out here on the snow and see how our bees are, or at least our beehives. I realize that we will not be able to see our bees, but look at that. I'll show you a sweep of the yard here. There's our little hives. Let's see where the bees have. There's one in the snow. I'd bring you out and show you the beehives in the snow. We don't see a lot of this here in central Arkansas. Well, hello from Flying M Farms. Thought I'd put out a video. A lot of folks are concerned about the cold weather we've had here in central Arkansas. So I've got some questions about it. So first off, you're worried about your bees. What can you do? Well, the temperatures are still in the 30s. So the answer to the question is nothing. Just enjoy them. If they're still in there, every now and then you'll see one fly out, fly around, hit the snow. It's not enjoyable, but you can see some bees coming out every now and then. A lot of people tell you different things. Some people will tell you to pick them up and put them back on the landing board. I'm not a big fan of that. Again, it's only going to be a couple of bees. I have no scientific proof, but I just believe that those bees are kind of at the end of their life. They don't want to die inside the hive, so they fly out. They don't go very far. But at any rate, you'll see a couple of those hit the snow. One thing you do want to do is you do want to make sure that, if your hives are very low, if snow is built up against them, you do want to clean off the snow at the entrance location. Don't worry about the snow on the top or the sides or the back. All of that just, if anything, helps insulate the hive. So, you can just take out a little bit in the front to make sure they can get out. Get you some chopsticks or some kind of coat hanger. Stick in there and kind of rake some bees out. Just, you have these cold weather, you're going to get some of the bees are going to die in there. The ones that were more towards the end of their life. Even though the hive may be strong, there's going to be some dead bees in there. You just want to make sure they're not blocking the entrance. You should have obviously your entrance is reduced. So just go in there and kind of scrape some out. I use a coat hanger for that purpose. I've got it bent on the end, kind of like a little round circle, and I just put it in there and just scrape them out. Once it starts warming up, what can you do? Well, first off, let me assure you, people like to go out and they knock on their hive and listen. And, maybe when it gets warmer, if they don't see bees out, if it gets in the 40s, they want to pop the top off and start looking. I'm not a big fan. I'm just not. If it gets up to 60 and you want to pop the top and look, that's fine. But anything less than that, and again, I'm just talking about taking the top cover off. I'm not talking about breaking down and pulling boxes apart and looking for, looking through the brood chamber or anything like that. Remember that if it is in the 40s and you have a very small number of bees, they can be in there and they can, still be huddled together and not flying. Here's an important part to remember. The bees, if at this point of the year, and they probably do, have some brood, so they're going to keep that brood at 95. As it warms up, it's still obviously not going to get to 95. The larger colonies generate enough heat that they don't need all of their bees generating heat. So they'll send out, in the 40s and 50s, you'll see bees coming and going out of your hive, cleansing flights, that sort of thing. And then you see this hive over here and you don't see any bees coming in or out. Don't assume that hive is dead. That hive could have a very small or a smaller number of bees or a larger patch of brood, and they need all hands on deck in the hive, keeping it warm. Whereas the other ones, yeah, they're warm enough. They have extra bees. They send those bees out, or those bees go out. So I'm just saying, just kind of play it cautious this time of year. The one thing you can do is it starts to get warm, go ahead and heft your hives, lift them up from the back. Hopefully you've been doing this. You know what they're supposed to feel like with a little bit of honey in there. That'll tell you if there's honey in there or not. If there's not, if a hive is really, really light, you can consider some alternate means of feed. This time of year, my opinion, that means dry feed. You can just open up the top box, find where the cluster is, look down through the frames, find them, put you a paper towel on top of the frames, just lay it across there, and dump sugar, right on top of the frames. It helps if you have a little shim to put in there. If you don't, it's okay. You know, you got to do what you got to do with what you've got. You know, put the sugar on there, get it about that thick, set the top down. It'll kind of push it down a little bit, kind of push it around. Some of it'll fall off in the hive. That's fine. You know, you can do that to give them a little bit of resource. If you've got some frozen frames of honey, you could pull those out and thaw them. But again, I would not pull frames out of a box until it was well in the 60s. But between now and then, you could put a little sugar on top. You know, if you've got some weight to that hive, just let them go. Let them do their thing. Doesn't mean you're not going to lose them, but, you know, because maybe it's not above them where it needs to be. For those of you who have really large hives, they're going to be going through a lot of stores right now. When I say a large hive, meaning a large population of bees. I run all nukes. You've seen my yard. They don't need very much honey because there's not very many bees in there. I'm really not interested in finishing the year with a ton of bees. I'm interested in finishing the year, starting spring. I'm interested in a laying queen and a vibrant cluster of bees about that big. That's really all I want to see. And because they're not eating a lot of honey, they're eating some. And we'll go from there. Once spring starts, they'll build up pretty quickly in those 5-frame boxes. But that's what I know. Be patient. You know, it is going to be what it's going to be, and you can't worry about it. You know, if your hives have had problems making it through the winter, you know, we can think more about that next year and how much honey we leave on. My experience, bees don't die in the winter time. Generally, we as beekeepers do something that kill them. We take off too much honey. We feed them too much pollen sub in the wintertime. We have tinkeritis and we roll a queen or something like that before winter gets here and we don't know it. Or, you know, we've just got such a massive hive that we kept from swarming, and it's so massive going into winter, they just suck right through all of their honey stores and die out. Those are just some of the things that happen. Or, you know, they go into winter with diseases, and, you know, if those winter bees have diseases, they're not going to perform as well. So those are just some of the issues. And again, if you have problems with wintering, we can certainly take a look at that next year, and you can think about, you know, what better ways to do that so that you're not having to buy bees every spring. So that's what I know. Good luck. See y'all later. So yeah, I'm just grabbing a few of the bees and pulling them out. Just got a little wire here, and I just don't go too deep in the hive, but just make sure there's a little area here so the bees can get out, do the cleansing flights. You can tell they've been into a lot of honey. There's so many cappings, but again, they haven't been able to fly the cappings out. They've just been ripping them off and dropping them where they are. So oops. Yeah, that one's clear. Anyhow, so yeah, and you can see some of the bees further out. And there's a few flying around. It's kind of cold still. It's like 40, 39. And I see a few of them flying out, doing some cleansing flights and going back in. And there's one in that one. Oh yeah. Hey, Jeannie. So there you go. That's what I do, just clean a few of them out. If you think about it, click the like button, give me a thumbs up. If this is on YouTube, give me some comments. If you have any questions, I will try to get to them as well. Also consider subscribing to my YouTube channel or Facebook, Flying M Farms. We are here in Central Arkansas.